Let's take a moment now and look at the astonishing presidential pardon granted by Joe Biden to his degenerate, crack-loving, whore enthusiast son Hunter. This is a pardon we were assured by the media would never happen. Remember these esteemed news anchors and commentators taking lying Joe at his word and telling us a pardon was out of the question.
The contrast is profound. To sit there and say, well, I'm not going to intervene in the legal process and I wouldn't pardon my son. One side, Democrats and Joe Biden protecting the justice system. And on the other, Republicans and Trump protecting Trump.
Our current president of the United States has so much respect for the law that he has said he would not pardon his son. I mean, what... Yeah. You know, again, it's all about the contrast.
President Biden saying, I will respect whatever this jury decides, versus Donald Trump after he was convicted on 34 counts, saying the entire system is rigged against him.
Their latest attack has been that Joe Biden has politicized and weaponized the DOJ, right? That was the whole argument around Donald Trump's conviction. And this week, of course, Hunter Biden was found guilty. And Joe Biden has very clearly said he would not pardon his son, he would not commute his sentence. How stark is this difference? I mean, how can Republicans keep making this argument now that Joe Biden has really put it out there? Where's Hunter? And he stood there in a courtroom, flanked by his family, and he's accepted his sentence.
He is not pardoning his son. Which he could do. These are federal charges. Right. He is not doing that. He is not doing it because he is living what it means to have a rule of law in this country.
Yes, Joe Biden is living what it means to have the rule of law. Just a man of integrity. It's worth noting that this pardon is unlike anything we've seen. It's the most comprehensive, far-reaching pardon imaginable. Joe Biden signed a full and unconditional pardon covering all offences against the United States, which he has committed or may have committed or taken part in during the period from January 1, 2014 through to December 1, 2024, including but not limited to all offences charged or prosecuted. Those dates are rather specific, aren't they? I'm sure it's just a wild coincidence that Hunter Biden joined the board of Ukrainian energy company Burisma in 2014, a role that earned him millions, despite the fact that he had zero experience or credentials in the area. And let's not forget that President Trump was impeached for wanting to investigate the crimes Hunter Biden has just been pardoned for, the potential crimes, because it covers everything, even things he hasn't been charged with. But the same news anchors who were outraged by Donald Trump pardoning anyone are now fully supportive of Biden pardoning Hunter. Here is pathological liar Rachel Maddow, who for years pushed the Russian collusion hoax. Here she is saying in 2020, she's pushing another lie here, saying that Trump was considering preemptively pardoning his children. She thought that was a travesty. But Biden pardoning his son is perfectly natural and good.
President Trump, as he winds down his last few weeks in office, is considering preemptive pardons for all his adult children, including his son-in-law, Jared. What a mess. More as we know. Cue all the hand-wringing and gnashing of teeth today about a president using his power, his pardon power, his powers as president, to do something for a family member. Tell me more about how outraged we all are about President Biden's pardon for his son.
Incredible. And Maddow's equally batty MSNBC colleague, fellow anchor Joy Reid, well, she's also had a rather dramatic change in attitude to presidential pardons.
The presidential pardon was originally meant to grant the president the power to temper justice with mercy. It was not enshrined in our Constitution so that a dishonorable man could reward his criminal allies, friends, and family for their corrupt practices. I don't have a problem with Biden pardoning his son. He should have pardoned him. The crazies are coming, right? But to me, it's like, pardon more.
And never forget the manner in which the media, together with intelligence officials, engaged in a disinformation campaign before the 2020 election to convince the American people that the Hunter Biden laptop story, all the revelations in that laptop were not real, that the family's dodgy business dealings were a Russian plot. Remember this shameful episode in journalism where Donald Trump was all but pleading with 60 Minutes' Leslie Stahl to do her job?
You know, this is 60 Minutes, and we can't put on things we can't verify.
You won't put it on because it's bad for Biden.
We can't put on things we can't verify.
Leslie, you've discredited yourself. When you say that you're not going to cover Biden, you're going to ask him what flavor ice cream he has, okay? Instead of why did Hunter get $3.5 million from Moscow? Instead of why is an energy company paying your son $183,000 a month or whatever they're paying him, and he has no experience in energy. You know, you discredit yourself. I don't have to discredit you.
This whole episode is another reminder that you do not hate the leftist media enough. You think you do, but you don't. Listen to the rest of this exchange. And by the way, we already knew at that point that the laptop was real. The New York Post had verified it, but the presenter claims the laptop's contents were unverified and discredited.
And you're making this one of the hottest, most important issues in your rallies.
It's a very important issue to find out whether or not a man's corrupt who's running for president, who's accepted money from China and from Ukraine and from Russia.
All these
I think
things
that's
have
an
been
important
investigated and
It's incredible the way you can try and say this and sit there and look me in the eye and say it. He accepted money, his family, from Russia, from Ukraine, from China, and from other places. His brother, who didn't have experience, became a big builder in Iraq without experience. Take a look at what's going on, Leslie. And then you say how that shouldn't be discussed.
I'm saying
it's the biggest scandal out there, Leslie, and you don't cover it.
Because it can't be verified.
You want to talk about insignificant things.
I'm telling you.
Of course it can be verified. Excuse me, they found the laptop.
Of course it could be verified. The laptop was real. They knew it was real. We knew it was real. Funnily enough, they were happy to report unverified Russian collusion hoax stories for 4 years. There was no problems about that. Everyone knew this laptop was real, and yet they pretended that it was some sort of a disinformation plot from Russia. The media's role in trying to discredit and suppress that story amounted to a clear case of election interference. And be no doubt that Hunter Biden's criminal enterprises implicate his father. Joe Biden was essentially the product. The family made millions from a pay-for-access business model. And that should be Joe Biden's enduring legacy.